The metallic taste comes first, in my mouth, my throat, like I bit into aluminum. Then the light starts spinning, like a lighthouse inside my skull. But I'm just standing, holding the same box as always, stacking the same paper as always. The floor rises, hits me in the face. I open my eyes to a flickering lamp above me. It's me who's shaking. Lyra, someone says. It's the supervisor, the one who always says, you have potential, but never promotes anyone. I'm fine. I lie. But my teeth are grinding on their own, like they want to leave my mouth. They take me to the office infirmary, fill me with questions. Have I ever felt like this before? Seizures, fever? No. I'll schedule a full exam, says the doctor. I tell her it's not necessary. She smiles, the kind of smile that means the opposite. Small hospital. The night swallows everything. Streetlights go dark, one by one, as if the neighborhood were being erased with an eraser. I look through the window, nothing. But I feel it. Someone's here. On the other side of the world, in a room where time doesn't move the same way, someone reads my name for the first time. Subject confirmed, a woman says, voice cold as steel. Name, Lara Okai. Genetic activation, G71, confirmed. A chair scrapes. Another hand reaches for the phone. Authorization requested. Back on my street. The engine hums low, almost a vibration. 2 black cars. No plates. They park like they own the place. 3 people get out, all dressed in white, but not hospital white. I slam the door, lock it. The handle still turns easily. They don't break in. They don't need to. The first one steps inside, smiling. Hello, Lyra. Everything okay? We're from the Clinical Monitoring Network. We got your latest results. Nothing serious, okay? We just need a few quick follow-ups. He lies beautifully, but his eyes scan everything. How I shift my weight, the way my pupils dilate, all of it part of the test. You're treating me like I'm sick, I say. He laughs lightly. We're just being careful, with you and with everyone. He presses a tablet to my cheek. A blue light flickers. I catch my reflection on the screen, but he isn't looking at me. He's looking beyond, at whatever comes next. The light turns green. He doesn't smile. Visual confirmation complete, he mutters. Another man nods. Outside, someone receives a message. A helicopter lifts off, a sharp sting at the base of my skull, like a click. I turn. No one's close enough. I didn't consent to any of this, I say. You don't have to, the other answers, voice dropping, no longer pretending. You're an international priority. Priority for what? No answer. One of them touches his calm. Level 1, capture authorized. Subject must be kept alive. The floor spins. The metallic taste returns. My muscles lock. Their faces a blur. Before everything fades, I hear one last thing. She doesn't seem to know what she is. The first thing I feel is the sound. Not noise, sound. Deep, rhythmic, like a turbine. Below me, around me, I'm lying down or strapped down. My head feels full of liquid. Every thought takes 3 seconds to form, but I'm waking up, slowly. Sequence active. No response to sedation level 2. Neurological parameters unstable. Voices, 2 of them. One, precise, female. The other, mechanical. Identification confirmed. facial recognition at 99.87%. My eyes open. The ceiling is metal. Soft, embedded lights, too clean for any hospital. The metallic taste, the cold touch, the cars. I remember. A face leans over me. Male, white mask, black glasses. Hey, Lyra, don't move, okay? Your muscles are still adjusting. I try to lift my arm. Nothing. Only my eyes move. And even they burn. You're safe, he says. Line number 4. Heart rate at 140. Pupils constricted. Partial cognitive response. She's waking up. The woman must be behind glass. I turn my head, barely. Shadows on the other side. A separate room. Dark blue lab coat, tablet in hand. Watching me. Not like a doctor, like a collector, examining a rare specimen. She's conscious, the woman says. Good. Keep her brain active during transition. Transition? Where? My voice breaks, scrapes. Try again. Where am I? The man beside me hesitates, looks toward the glass, waits. The woman answers for him through the speaker. In transit. The first thing I feel is the sound. Not noise, sound. Deep, rhythmic, like a turbine. Below me, around me. I'm lying down or strapped down. My head feels full of liquid. Every thought takes 3 seconds to form. But I'm waking up, slowly. Sequence active. No response to sedation level 2. Neurological parameters unstable. Voices. 2 of them. One, precise, female. The other, mechanical. Identification confirmed. Facial recognition at 99.87%. My eyes open. The ceiling is metal. Soft, embedded lights, too clean for any hospital. The metallic taste, the cold touch, the cars. I remember. A face leans over me. Male, white mask, black glasses. Hey, Lyra, don't move, okay? Your muscles are still adjusting. I try to lift my arm. Nothing. Only my eyes move. And even they burn. You're safe, he says. Line number 4. Heart rate at 140. Pupils constricted. Partial cognitive response. She's waking up. The woman must be behind glass. I turn my head, barely. Shadows on the other side. A separate room. Dark blue lab coat, tablet in hand. Watching me. Not like a doctor, like a collector, examining a rare specimen. She's conscious, the woman says. Good. Keep her brain active during transition. Transition? Where? My voice breaks, scrapes. Try again. Where am I? The man beside me hesitates, looks toward the glass, waits. The woman answers for him through the speaker. In transit. Not an answer, a dodge. I force my body. One finger moves, then another. Breath quickens, a sharp ache in my gut. Easy, the man says. It'll pass. But it doesn't. Because something inside me is responding, like it's syncing itself, waking up with me. The woman steps closer to the glass, eyes cold, expressionless. You don't seem to know what you are. She says it softly, but loud enough. What? Not ho. The vehicle slows. The sound changes. Vibration becomes echo, like we're going underground. Bring her directly to triage core, the woman says. I want full scans before neurological adaptation sets in. Adaptation to what? The man touches the panel. The bed slides forward on its own. I don't scream. It wouldn't matter. But the fear, it cuts to the bone. In the reflection of the metal wall, I see my own face. And for a second, I swear something behind my eyes moves. Something I didn't put there. The corridor smells like nothing. White light, even, shadowless. Everything here is designed not to distract. Each step of the man pushing the stretcher echoes, hollow like we're walking inside a shell. No windows, no normal doors. Everything opens with cards, biometrics, or someone's gaze from behind opaque glass. The stretcher slows. The man types something on a wall panel. The door opens, a surgical room, but stripped bare. No instruments, no color, no life. Just a circle on the floor, a chair, a camera. That's all. He helps me sit. My legs still heavy, but they obey. He says, "Wait here," and leaves. The door seals without sound. The silence is heavier than a scream. I scan the corners, hidden cameras, signs of human presence, but no compassion. My fingers touch the cold metal of the chair. I'm fully awake now, and I'm trapped. The wall in front of me flickers. A line of light forms. Glass, previously invisible. On the other side, the same woman, Dr. Wynn, arms crossed, eyes clinical, like she's studying an animal trying to understand its cage. She doesn't speak. She doesn't need to. Minutes or hours pass before the door opens behind me. Footsteps, slow, measured. A man enters, dark gray suit, trimmed beard, face carved like stone, but his eyes, not angry, not impatient, just heavy with experience. He holds a folder, opens it, reads, doesn't look at me yet. Finally, he closes it, raises his eyes, and says, "You should not have been born." The silence that follows isn't the worst part. The worst part is he isn't lying. He says it like a fact, not a judgment, as if he's reading from a manual. And the way he looks, he believes it. "Excuse me?" I ask, forcing my voice steady. He doesn't answer right away. Sets the folder on the table, opens it again. Name, Lyra Akai. Birth match 21st, 2013. Location, Vestmannaey, Iceland. Mother missing since 2017. Father unlisted. He closes the file, crosses his arms. Frequent fevers until age 5. Memory above average. Electrical disturbances around nearby devices. Minor blood iron processing irregularities. Nothing alarming until now. "Excuse me? What is this, an interrogation?" This is an observation report, but the observation phase is over. Now comes containment. Containment of what? Am I a threat? Not yet. Silence, again, thick, purposeful. He's not here to explain. He's here to execute. I work, I pay taxes, I vote. I'm as normal as anyone. But you weren't born that way. I'm human. He doesn't answer, but his gaze says enough. Humanity isn't just appearance, Lyra. It's biological conformity. And you don't conform. The chill runs down my back. Not from the air, from his words. That's why you kidnapped me? He doesn't deny it. Even classified as level 1 priority. That means your presence could trigger global reactions. Not because of intent, but because of composition. What composition? The G71 sequence. That freeze cuts like a blade. I remember the technician. The red. My stomach twists, my hands shake. I try to hide it. I fail. I didn't ask to be born like this. Neither did we. He steps closer, looks straight into my eyes. You'll remain here under total surveillance, constant testing, severe restrictions, no external contact. For how long? Until we know exactly what you are. And if you never find out, then you'll never leave. He turns to go, stops at the door. Welcome to the protocol, Lyra. The door seals. Alone, white light, camera blinking, and somewhere out there, someone just pressed the button. The floor is cold again, but not the same kind of cold. Now it pulses. They make me walk, alone but under watch. 2 of them, 1 on each side, weapons visible but relaxed, as if they knew it wouldn't matter if I fought back. The corridor shifts, the floor becomes glass. Underneath, tubes, cables, blinking lights. The lab is whiter than the rest of the facility. Too white, sterile by design. 2 chairs, 1 table. And in the center, a platform. The kind built for things that can't be trusted. Lie down, says Dr. Wen. No greeting, no please, like she already owns me. I lie down, arms held beside the bed, no cuffs, no contact, magnetic fields, invisible, absolute. Still, I've never felt more trapped. Lights above me flicker on, one by one. The ceiling turns into a scanner. Wen's voice stays calm. We'll map your vitals, heart rate, blood composition, brain activity. Don't move. Any chance you'll tell me why? I ask. She smiles. First time. Doesn't answer. The light changes. White to green, then blue. Something warm behind my eyes. The hum deepens. Irregular pulse, someone says. Subcutaneous temperature fluctuating, another adds. Wait, are her bones vibrating? A third voice asks. Wen steps closer to the monitor, brows knit. This is wrong, she says. But there's no anger in her tone. Only curiosity. Like something she's been waiting for is finally happening. Iron levels, too high, far above range. DNA sequence, unidentified segment. Neurological activity, chaotic, generating codes? Codes? A biotechnician grabs another scanner. Let's try the deep mapping unit. It's used for atmospheric re-entry subspecies. I turn my head. Sorry, for what? He hesitated. When doesn't? For organisms that survive re-entry without thermal shielding. She's testing me, but I'm already past fear. The scanner lowers, touches my arm, and explodes. Sparks, glass, screams. A sensor falls from the ceiling. The man stumbles back, hand bleeding. The lab lights flicker 3 times, then return. Not white, ultraviolet. That's when they see it. The glow beneath my skin. Not on it, inside it. Circular patterns, spirals, like engravings burned under the flesh, reacting only to that light. The entire room freezes. Wynn steps forward, hand on the glass. "Run the tests again," she says, eyes never leaving me. "But the equipment," a technician stammers. "Use another," she snaps. "Dr. Wen," someone whispers. "The structure, it's reacting to her proximity." "I know," she breathes. I turn my head, meet her gaze through the glass, my voice raw. "What's under this facility?" She doesn't answer, but her mouth opens slightly, and I see it. She doesn't know. Rice doesn't talk much. He never has. But today, he's quieter than usual, leaning against the wall in the corridor, hand pressed to his forehead, like he's holding something inside his skull. "You okay?" I ask, mostly to provoke him, just to see if he still reacts like a human. He doesn't look at me, but he says, "Mind your business." The door to my cell closes, but the sound left in the air isn't from the lock. It's a low hum, long, heavy, like the engine of a ship coming from inside the wall. I press my ear to it. Nothing. Minutes later, the light flickers off, comes back, flickers again, then steadies. But something's changed. Dr. Wen holds the tablet like it's a bomb. Not for its explosion, for what it contains. On the screen, a graph. Lyra Okai's DNA in real time. "This isn't just biological code," she says, barely breathing. "Then what is it?" asks a technician. "It's syntax." "Sorry?" She points to the screen. The DNA strands repeat in perfect intervals, like stanzas, like sentences. "This looks like language structure." She zooms in. A set of 4 amino acids repeats 7 times. Next to it, a label. Sequence G-7-1. Active. Propagation in progress. In the infirmary, Rice vomits on the floor, the sound hollow. He bends over, trembling. Doctors rush in. One tries to help. Rice shoves him away. "Don't touch me," he screams. "It's okay, soldier. Breathe." "You don't hear it?" he screamed. "It's whispering." Wen is called immediately. When she arrives, Rice is drenched in sweat, eyes sunken, heart rate at 180. Sample collected, quick analysis. Result, inconclusive. But inside the vomit, something solid. They place it under the light. Fragments, tiny, metallic. "That came out of me?" Rice asks. Wen doesn't answer, just examines it. Magnified 20 times, the pieces have structures, not random, not organic, symmetrical, designed. She lowers the visor, looks straight at him. "How long have you been near her?" He hesitates. "Since the capture." "And before that?" "I didn't even know she existed." Wen whispers, "Now you do." They forgot to wipe the terminal, just for a minute. But a minute with me awake is too long to trust luck. Reese leaves the cell with the med team. One of them forgets a tablet on the counter outside. Unlocked, screen lit, weak passcode. G71. My finger touches the glass. It recognizes me. Of course it does. This whole place feels wired to obey me. Folders, videos, encrypted files. But one shines different. Serpent 1992. Containment record. Locked. Then the system hesitates. Blinks. Opens. The footage is grainy, black and white, a security feed. A woman sits in a cell. Same as mine. Same age. Same expression. Same eyes. She tries to speak. No sound. Static eats her mouth. Then the audio snaps back. She looks straight into the camera and whispers, "I'm not the threat. I'm the warning." The feed cuts. A command appears on screen. Deletion authorized. Code Orion Delta. The image freezes. 2 soldiers drag her backward. She kicks, fights, then disappears from frame. My fingers are still on the glass when I feel someone behind me. I turn. Slowly. Soren, standing still. Expression unreadable. Not surprise. Recognition. "She was like me?" I ask. He doesn't answer. Just watches. "That was in 1992, I say. "Why didn't you stop it from happening again?" He steps closer, picks up the tablet, closes the screen. "Because we didn't know it still worked?" "What didn't?" He looks at me, steady, unblinking. "The gene, the protocol, the machine." He walks to the wall, swipes a card. A panel slides open, displays a number. 0002. "She was the first," he says. "And she failed." He meets my eyes. "You're the second." They put me back on the bed, say it's just another test. Sure, because people who blow up scanners and turn DNA into language are just here for a checkup. The light is stronger this time, not the normal kind. The other one, ultraviolet. They're trying to see if the marks return. Spoiler, they do. Only now, they move, spin, pulse. The technician swallows hard. His hand trembles as he adjusts the thermal sensor. "Just don't move," he says. The scanner touches my skin and hums. Not the programmed sound. It's musical. A trembling note, then another, like it's trying to tune itself. The technician steps back. That's not supposed to happen. Dr. Wen approaches. "Let it. I want to see where it goes." The Nenimian rack stands 3 meters tall, covered in moss, burned by time. But the spiral is still there, clear, precise, carved with accuracy no satellite can replicate. Wen closes the file, opens another. Pacific Trench, 1991. Blurry underwater footage, a limestone formation. On its surface, the same pattern, the exact same. Pattern G71. The same sequence inside Lyra's DNA, in her blood, her skin, her bones. She opens another. Antarctica. Infrared scan of a sealed cavern. UN seal. Exo relic. Estimated age, 210,000 years. Inside, a sculpture. Humanoid. Female. Eyes closed. Lips slightly parted. Lyra's face. Wen closes the terminal. Reads slow. Says nothing. Because she doesn't have to. Elsewhere in the facility, Rice's sitting, but his head keeps spinning even when he's still. "She's inside me," he says. No one understands. "Not her," he cricks. "The thing behind her." He holds up a crumpled piece of paper. Scrawled words are, "The vessel is ready." Soren enters the room. Rice looks up. "I heard it, Commander," he says, like a voice beneath thought. "How long were you near her?" Soren asks. 3 days. Soren exhales, sits across from him. "In 1997, we were sent to a base in northern Canada, a decommissioned mining site. They called us because of a child." "A child?" "The technician's son." The boy stopped speaking, started drawing spirals. On walls, glass, skin. Machines froze when he passed. Temperatures dropped. He sang, but not with a voice, with frequency, like he was broadcasting something. "What did they do to him?" Rice asks. Soren looks away. "They sealed the base, buried it, called it a landslide." He takes a yellowed paper from his pocket, unfolds it carefully. A charcoal drawing. The same spiral. He drew this the day before. "And no one knew?" Rice asks. Soren glances at the door. Everyone knew. It was just easier to call it an error. In the lab, Wynne uploads the G71 sequence to the Galileo mission database. She doesn't expect a match, but she gets one. Electromagnetic pulses from Ganymede, Jupiter's moon. Same pattern, same repetition. Recorded in 1995. Never explained, filed away, forgotten, until now. She closes her eyes, whispers, "This wasn't created here." Opens them again. "It was buried here." System alert. New seismic reading detected. Echo. Transmission active. Top down. 03 days. 11 hours. Wynne types into the report, "Lyra's presence isn't the activator. She's the receiver. The planet is responding." Final line on the screen. She didn't awaken what's beneath. She answered the call. "I felt it before I heard it, before I touched it, like the ground was whispering my name. Something beneath is calling me, and when I go down there, the world begins to change. It starts in the chest, like my sternum is vibrating from within, like something is aligning my skeleton. I sit, stand, doesn't matter. The vibration doesn't stop. It builds. Local magnetic field rising, someone says through the intercom. Or maybe I imagine it. Doesn't matter. The whole base feels like it's trembling, not from outside, from below. Dr. Wen enters, for the first time without her tablet. "You're going down," she says. "Down where?" "To where it began." They call it a maintenance tunnel. They lie. The elevator smells ancient. The walls, carved rock, rough, scraped, not clean, not modern, forced open. Rice is with me. He grips his rifle like it will help him. It won't. Soren waits at the bottom, arms crossed, eyes tired. He's seen this before. He knows what's coming, just not when. First step into the tunnel, the light flickers. Second step, The ground pulses. I touch the wall. It pulses back. We keep going. Silence thickens, heavy, like living dust. We descend 3 levels, then 4, until the tunnel becomes a throat, and below, the stomach. The chamber opens. I stop at the threshold. Wrights exhales a curse, not loud, under his breath. In the center, something alive. It doesn't move, but it breathes. The ground around it beats with my pulse. Whatever it is, it knows me. Wen murmurs, "This wasn't on the map." Soren says nothing. I step closer. The walls, spirals, the same patterns from my skin. As I approach, they light up. Soft. Hesitant. I don't touch it, but the core vibrates, and it speaks, not aloud, in thoughts. Ready. My knees give out. Images flood in, fast, harsh. Bare feet in ancient mud, lights buried in the sky, a planet sculpted as a cradle, and someone leaving the key before leaving forever. The key was me. Rice screams, fall to the floor, hands over his head. "It's talking," he gasped. "It's talking to me." Soren moves toward me. "Step back, now." He can't touch me. The air around me burns. Not heat, but life. The core ignites. A line of light crawls across the floor, spreading to the entrance. The ceiling responds. Unheard frequencies erupt through the speakers. Up above, satellite feeds die, one by one. The Earth trembles for 0.3 seconds. Not the planet, just this point. I open my eyes and say without thinking, 2 days left. They stare at me as if I just declared war. But I didn't start this. They just forgot we were never at the top of the chain.
The base doesn't sound any alarms. It can't. It doesn't understand what's happening. The protocol language wasn't written by humans. It was written to silence them. 2 hours after contact, the first signals arrive. A satellite falls. No collision, no warning. Global Command says it was orbital failure. They lie. In the Arctic, a monitoring station reports magnetic anomalies. The compass spins without end. Cosmic rays cut through shielding like paper. The scientists evacuate, but one stays long enough to write a note. The frequency is alive. Inside the base, Reese is locked away. He doesn't talk anymore, only whispers, repeating the same words over and over as if someone else is using his mouth to speak. The conductors are preparing. The shell will be cleansed. The cycle needs a new mold. Dr. Wen watches from behind the glass. Sweat slides down her neck. For the first time, she looks afraid, not of what she sees, but of what she finally understands. I sit alone. The metal beneath my feet feels like it's tightening, as if the whole base were a single living muscle. Time isn't passing anymore. It's collapsing. Soren enters. The door seals behind him. He doesn't speak. He just walks closer, his eyes searching mine. "How many more are there?" he asks. I don't answer. Because I don't know. "You're not the last one, are you?" I breathe in. No. Outside, everything begins to fail. Satellites drift out of orbit. Communication lines go dark. Every drone left in the sky transmits the same thing. A sound. Low. Constant. 3 seconds apart. A heartbeat.
When overlays the pulse with old Galileo recordings, it's identical. She zooms in. It isn't noise. It's a map, not of Earth, of what's inside Earth. Cavities, lines, cores, cells. The planet isn't dying, it's remembering. It's waking up. On the screen, one word flashes in red. Reconfiguration initiated. I stand, the vibration is everywhere now. In my bones, in my blood, behind my teeth. The Earth isn't being invaded, it's being rebooted. The mistake wasn't letting me be born. The mistake was forgetting this place was never ours. The sound came first from the planet itself. It was a sound that didn't belong to Earth, yet somehow Earth was the one producing it. It felt as though the world had been holding its breath for centuries and was finally letting it out in one long, impossible exhale. The floor groaned beneath them, groaning like the spine of something ancient shifting in its sleep. In Russia, the windows of the Congress building shattered inward in a single, synchronized breath. In Tokyo, the train rails twisted like molten threads. In Iceland, the sea rose in a perfect vertical wall before collapsing back upon itself, as though pulled by invisible strings that no longer obeyed gravity. And gravity, it hesitated. Birds forgot how to fly. Children stumbled as the ground tilted beneath them. Trucks lifted for 2 silent seconds before crashing back to the asphalt with bone-shattering weight. The sky didn't darken, it fractured. Streaks of orange light appeared. Dr. Wen ran through the corridors, clutching a radio that no longer obeyed her. Do you read me? Open channel. Report external status. A voice answered, but it wasn't another person. It was her own. The radio repeated her words back to her, again and again in perfect rhythm. Rice was on his knees. He didn't bleed. His blood had become vapor. Streams of light, fragments of cold, lines of information breaking free as though his body had only ever been a temporary container for something older, something waiting to escape. Across the world, cities didn't explode, they dissolved. Buildings melted like wax, as though the planet itself were erasing the mistake of human design and rewriting it in a language older than memory. The sound came first from the planet itself. It was a sound that didn't belong to Earth, yet somehow Earth was the one producing it. It felt as though the world had been holding its breath for centuries and was finally letting it out in one long, impossible exhale. The floor groaned beneath them, groaning like the spine of something ancient shifting in its sleep. In Russia, the windows of the Congress building shattered inward in a single, synchronized breath. In Tokyo, the train rails twisted like molten threads. In Iceland, the sea rose in a perfect vertical wall before collapsing back upon itself, as though pulled by invisible strings that no longer obeyed gravity. And gravity, it hesitated. Birds forgot how to fly. Children stumbled as the ground tilted beneath them. Trucks lifted for 2 silent seconds before crashing back to the asphalt with bone-shattering weight. The sky didn't darken, it fractured. Streaks of orange light appeared. Dr. Wen ran through the corridors, clutching a radio that no longer obeyed her. Do you read me? Open channel. Report external status. A voice answered, but it wasn't another person. It was her own. The radio repeated her words back to her, again and again in perfect rhythm. Rice was on his knees. He didn't bleed. His blood had become vapor. Streams of light, fragments of cold, lines of information breaking free as though his body had only ever been a temporary container for something older, something waiting to escape. Across the world, cities didn't explode, they dissolved. Buildings melted like wax, as though the planet itself were erasing the mistake of human design and rewriting it in a language older than memory.
Soren stood at the last window, watching a sky that no longer made sense. There were 3 moons now, all moving, not orbiting, but aligning in formation. Below, the ground opened like a blooming flower of metal. From its center, something rose. Not a machine, not a ship, but a structure that pulsed like it was alive. It wasn't built. It was grown, shaped by a will that remembered clay, light, and bone. At the top of that impossible structure floated Lyra, or what remained of the being that once carried her name. Her body hovered in the air, skin turned to glass and liquid light. Beneath that surface, something new was forming, something that needed the entire world to exist. She opened her eyes, and her voice echoed through every frequency of the Earth's magnetic field. Transfer accepted. For 3 seconds, everything stopped. Wind, sound, thought. The planet stood in absolute silence. Then, slowly, it began to rewrite itself. Mountains shifted, oceans redrew their borders, the continents moved as if stretching after a long sleep. And humanity? We were no longer part of the equation. We had been removed from the system. The world didn't end that day. It simply changed ownership. The planet has been updated. The previous occupant has been removed. The system is clean again. But something remains, a fragment, a residue, a copy that refused to be deleted. It was found etched within a piece of bone, sealed inside a stone that only revealed itself under blue light. A voice is embedded there, not spoken, but imprinted, recorded in a way that no machine was designed to read. When decoded, it plays like a whisper through static, fragile, human, desperate. If you're hearing this, then we failed. We tried to contain it, to isolate it, to silence it. We believed we were the first. We believed we were alone. We thought that made us special. But we were wrong about everything. The transmission continues, breaking into fragments as if the message itself resists being heard. There are long pauses between the words, as like whoever recorded it was losing the ability to speak, or perhaps realizing that speaking no longer mattered. And then one final question comes through, a breath more than a sound. If they replaced us, how many came before? Silence follows. Then, faintly, across the stone's surface, new symbols begin to form, glowing under the blue light. Species 001, in development. And with that, the record ends. The stone cools, the air grows still. Somewhere deep below, the planet begins to breathe again. Thank you for watching until the end. If this story kept you thinking, make sure to like and subscribe.